Thanks for tuning in to ARIRANG News. I'm Devin Whiting in Seoul. Parliament's annual audit of government agencies is being held up for a fourth straight day due to a standoff between the ruling party and the National Assembly Speaker. On Thursday, the ruling Saenuri Party stepped up its rhetoric against Speaker Chung Se-kyun, held a rally in Parliament to demand he resign, and also sought legal action against him. The party believes Chung has not been neutral as Speaker. It's asked the Constitutional Court to rule on whether Chung violated the party's rights by allowing a controversial vote last week to go ahead after a midnight deadline and over the Saenuri Party's protests. The ruling parties also asked prosecutors to charge the Speaker with abusing his authority, and with Saenuri boycotting the Assembly, carrying out the government audit Thursday was left entirely to the opposition. In the southern city of Pohang, a new ultra-high-tech facility is set to open next spring that will produce beams of light of almost unheard-of brilliance and intensity. This fourth-generation synchrotron facility will enable scientists to perform research that could open up new futuristic industries. President Park Geun-hye was in Pohang to attend a ceremony for its founding.
Korea has become only the third country in the world to have a fourth-generation light source facility after the United States and Japan. The accelerator enables observation of living cells and protein analysis for medical research using light that's a quintillion times stronger than sunlight and moves in 1/15 of a second. Speaking at the launching ceremony, President Park Geun-hye encouraged scientists to take a leading role in new industries through advanced technologies.
4세대 방사능 가속기는 광합성과 화학 반응을 비롯해서 그동안 인류가 풀지 못한 우주와 생명의 비밀을 푸는 열쇠이자 미래 신산업 선점의 필수적인 핵심 인프라입니다. 포항에서 만들어질 꿈의 빛이 대한민국 과학기술의 미래는 물론 인류의 미래를 환히 밝힐 수 있기를 기대합니다.
The president also took a tour of Pohang's National Innovation Center, the only branch to be led by the private sector, to look in on the startups launched and incubated there.
Our business is a clean energy project processing flame-retarding waste through high-temperature combustion, while also minimizing toxic gas emission. Our technologies gained greater momentum with the support of POSCO here at the Innovation Center.
이런 폐기물을 활용한 신재생 에너지 사업 같은 건 앞으로 참 시장이 넓을 거고 그렇습니다. 우리나라는 물론이고요. 꼭 필요한 사업이고 또 해외에서 또 수요가 많을 것 같아서 앞으로 크게 발전하실 수 있을 거라고 기대가 됩니다.
President Park called on the scientists to become leaders and not followers and said that the nation will provide full support for new tech industries to evolve into new growth engines to boost local economies and create jobs. 송지선, 아리랑 뉴스.
The top nuclear envoys of South Korea and Russia met on Thursday in Moscow to discuss response measures to North Korea's fifth nuclear test. South Korea's Special Representative for Korean Peninsula and Security Affairs, Kim Hong-kyun, and his Russian counterpart, Igor Morgulov, are expected to have talked about measures to add to the UN's sanctions on the North. Kim is expected to have asked for Russia's cooperation in passing a strong new sanctions resolution at the Security Council. Details of the talks have not been released, but Russia's foreign minister has previously said Moscow will make diplomatic efforts to deal with North Korea's nuclear weapons program. The United States is urging countries to scale down or even completely cut ties with North Korea. Washington also appears to be actively investigating Chinese companies thought to be violating international sanctions to do business with the regime. Kwon So-ah has this report.
The United States is pressing countries around the world to downgrade or sever their diplomatic and economic relations with North Korea. Speaking at a U.S. Senate committee hearing in Washington on Wednesday, Assistant Secretary of State for East Asian and Pacific Affairs Daniel Russel said U.S. embassies are urging other countries to condemn North Korea's recent nuclear test and take additional actions to pressure the regime. Asked about what South Korea thinks of Washington's strategy, Seoul's foreign ministry said Thursday that the government has been working closely with the U.S. on sending a strong message to North Korea.
North Korea can only change its calculus if an environment is created in which it cannot participate in the international community. That's why South Korea and the U.S. are going to use all possible methods of pressure.
Speaking at the same hearing as Russel, the State Department Sanctions Policy Coordinator Daniel Freed implied that Washington is continuing its investigation into Chinese entities that may have links to the financing of or provision of materials for Pyongyang's nuclear and missile development. He didn't elaborate on specific probes that may be ongoing. Freed said it would be useful if Chinese banks and firms understood the risks of dealing with North Korea. He also mentioned the U.S. is looking into North Korea's coal trade and the country's state airline Air Koryo, as it has curtailed the carrier's activities and restricted its ability. Earlier this week, Washington put Tandung Hongxiang Industrial Development Company and 4 of its officials on a blacklist for acting against sanctions on North Korea, as it allegedly assisted North Korea's weapons program. It marked the first time the U.S. slapped sanctions on a Chinese company. Kwon So-ah, ARIRANG News.
And those are some of the stories we're following right now. More coming up on News Center in 2 hours' time. Bye for now.